Today I'm here with the boys from Pod Partnerships. Welcome to the podcast, boys.
Thank you very much.
So you guys run a marketing advertising agency. I feel like it's a very niche area. You focus specifically on podcasts, don't you? What would you say really made you want to start a business in that niche area?
Well, myself and Kane have been in the podcasting industry for 4 or 5 years, helping people to start their own, grow them, monetize them, and learned a lot about the commercial side of it in that time. And it was an area that was really growing. So brands every year are spending more and more on sponsoring podcasts, advertising through podcasts. And more people are listening, and it's become that kind of new kid on the block in terms of influencer marketing, if you like. So we learned a lot about it in terms of helping creators get paid, but also helping brands to run campaigns that actually convert. So I thought, let's start a business because we have a lot of knowledge in an area that not many people do. We speak to a lot of brands who are like, we want to do this, but we don't really know how to do it. Yeah. So we was like, let's start a business in that space, and that's what kind of kicked it off.
Nice. And you say you've been doing that for about 4 years now? Or you've been in the industry for 4 years?
Yeah, in the industry for about 4 years. It might be slightly less for me and slightly more for Kane. But yeah, been in the industry for that long. But in terms of this business, been doing it about a year or so probably.
Okay. And you were running that in the UK and you've decided to bring it over to Dubai?
Pretty much, yeah. It's like we haven't done the whole go make millions and millions in the UK and then come to Dubai. Yeah. It's more so like we've started a startup in the UK and gone, actually, let's try and grow the startup in the UAE because why not? There's all sorts of reasons, right?
Yeah. And I have to ask then, what made you come to Dubai? I'm assuming for tax purposes.
Well, you got to make money first.
Yeah, you got to make some money first. That's not one of the top ones, honestly.
Okay.
It will be one day, hopefully. But the main reason is the networking and the business opportunity here kind of puts the UK to shame. The biggest thing we've noticed since being here is how open everyone is to meeting new people, to introducing you to people, or to helping, collaborating, right? Yeah. It's not so much like that in the UK. Our whole business is built on relationships and partnerships, so it makes sense. So yeah, we felt like there's going to be more opportunity for the business. Don't get me wrong, a lot of what we do is still digital. Yeah. So it's not, we have got a fair few potential clients out here as well because we work with a fair few of the trading crypto finance brands, which is cool. And a lot of them are out here, but generally it's just building that black book of contacts, because even if we leave in 3 years' time, it's the amount of people we're going to know from having been here for this long would be unbelievable. And then on top of that, the lifestyle for 3 lads in their early mid-20s is sound. Do you know what I mean?
So speaking of lifestyle, you guys are based in the Marina, right? So you guys are doing Dubai the real way.
The real way, or the textbook way, I guess, is one way of saying it, yeah.
So what made you choose the Marina then? Because a lot of Brits, they tend to go to JVC. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the different areas in Dubai yet, but a lot of Brits tend to go to JVC first. What made you guys choose the Marina?
I think we wanted somewhere that was central-ish, easy to get to places. Yeah. And, I'd visited a few times. The guys have visited once before. And, there's always the social aspect is around there. Yeah. So because we was investing into the startup, we decided to share accommodation. We wanted to go somewhere we wouldn't necessarily need a car. It was very, very cut cost, reinvest absolutely everything. And it worked quite well. It's if you go to JVC, it's we might not be able to share. We might need a car to get around. So it's a very financial decision, and it just turned out to be the best one. I don't know if you boys agree. I'm very happy we ended up in Marina.
In terms of location, spot on. Don't get me wrong.
Ask for a better location.
Our fridge sometimes doesn't work and there's a dodgy leak, but when you take that out of it, the location of where we are is so good.
You're 5 minutes away from JBR. I was there yesterday. JBR.
Oh, nice. Location-wise, love it because we nearly went to downtown, which still would have been absolutely sound. Yeah. But it was kind of downtown and Marina because we wanted to be in and amongst it because we didn't want to have to get a car. I mean, Kane did get a car anyway, but for us, for me and Jordan, if you like, it was it's actually probably just as cost-effective to live in the Marina as it is to live in JVC because we haven't got to get a car and we get the occasional taxi or jump in taxi Kane.
Uber driver Kane.
So it made sense for our business because we can do it from home or from a local coffee shop. If you have to travel, it's a bit different. But because we didn't have to travel, it was why would we go to JVC where we then have to Like we don't like where we live as much as Marina because we don't need to travel.
Yeah, I initially stayed at Marina when I first came, and I did like it, but I just felt like every day was holiday mode, and I couldn't get my head down. And
we still get that today. Yeah. Weekends where we should be working. It's like,
Yeah.
so many distractions around here. We could be easily
beach.
not working.
Yeah,
It is. That could be the tough bit. But then I found a handful of coffee shops around the area that we like working in. So one day might work from home, the next day work from a coffee shop, kind of mix it up. But we try and stay on it in the week. But yeah, it can definitely be distracting to be like, oh, there's all sorts going on.
I think it depends what end you're at though. Like, don't you think? So when we landed, we got an Airbnb, and that was down like the JBR side of the marina.
Yeah, true.
And that did feel like holidays. Like, if you go out in the evening after dinner, or whatever, you just walk. There's just tourists everywhere. It's the beach. It's like very lively. Whereas we're sort of down the other end, where I don't think like there's.
Yeah,
I don't really feel like I'm on holiday when I'm walking around there, to be honest.
No, that is true because you haven't got the beach right on your doorstep, do you? So it's a little bit different.
Do you guys have the marina view?
No, we have the palm view.
The palm view.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Okay, that's very interesting. So you guys are marina boys.
Yeah.
They say there's a lot of Russians that stay around the marina, I think.
Yeah.
It's a very
There's a lot of
popular
all sorts of nationalities around there, but we do see a lot of Russians.
Yeah. So you guys are stuck in the marina for the time being.
Signed a lease now, so contract signed.
You've got no choice but to stay there. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So what would you guys say you like the most about Dubai so far? I think you mentioned earlier that you really like the network, the collaboration. But in terms of day-to-day living, obviously you guys are originally from the UK. They tend to say that Dubai has a better quality of life out here.
100%. The convenience of everything here is great. It's easy to spend too much money because of how convenient everything is.
Yeah.
But yeah, the convenience is awesome. For me, the biggest thing, and it does come back to like meeting people, is everybody's on the same journey, but it just at different stages.
Yeah.
So you might meet someone who's a lot further along, they've been here 10 years, but they've been where we are before. So everyone's so willing to help because of that. Or like you'll bump into someone in a coffee shop. Like I've just bumped into random people in coffee shops that I've become good mates with who are doing similar businesses. Like that doesn't happen in the UK really. So everyone, like, is it 10% of people here are actually locals? So 90% of people here are doing the same thing. Yeah. So everyone's very willing to help. That's the biggest thing for me. But yeah, I mean, day to day wise, it's great to be able to go sit on the balcony and like you're looking over the palm or like a sunset or something like that is awesome. Yeah. And the convenience of being in the marina or just in Dubai is another level.
Yeah. And where are you guys from originally in the UK?
Peterborough, near Cambridge.
Okay, yeah, not too far. My family live in Lincolnshire.
Oh,
so
yeah?
I know Peterborough quite well, yeah.
Oh, there you go. We usually just tell people Cambridge because it sounds way nicer.
I was looking at an article the other day and I think they ranked Peterborough as one of the worst places.
The worst. 3 years in a row, man.
Oh, God.
Claim to fame.
I can see that though because it's not too bad. Like I've been to the shopping mall there. What's it called? Queensgate?
Queensgate, yeah.
That's not too bad.
It could be worse. Do you know what? I was on a couple of years ago, I was on an American guy's podcast. He was also, tell me about Peterborough. What's good about Peterborough? I was like, I'll be honest, the only thing I can tell you is that when after lockdown, they opened up the McDonald's again. Peterborough had like 5 McDonald's open, more than any other city. I was like, that's the one positive about Peterborough. But no, it's an alright place. It's not too bad.
Yeah. It's not too far from London by train as well.
Yeah, it's a convenient place because you don't pay London prices, but you're about an hour away from London, so it's not too bad.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, cool. So let's start talking a bit more about the business that you guys run. Let's talk about what exactly do you do on a day-to-day basis?
That varies, right?
Ash goes around, speaks to people, and comes back with.
How do you guys distribute the roles that you have? So, is it all equally split, or
no? So roles? Myself and Kane own a business. Jordan's an employee. Okay. Jordan went traveling the world for like 2 years. Nice. Came back at the same sort of time we were starting the business and done some freelance work for us because he was fresh back in the UK. We're like, we need some help with some freelance work for this new business. Yeah. And now employed him full time. 3 of us are close to some mates, so it works well. Yeah. In terms of roles, it's quite fluid. Myself and Kane know everything about the whole business. We've been in the podcast space a long time. Jordan does a lot of the original outreach, but now does a lot more than that as well. So it's very fluid. I'd say overall, I probably do the most networking and going out and like meeting people, kind of working on the business, if you like, whilst Jordan especially and Kane work more in the business directly. Yeah. So it's good because I've got a friend out here who's moved out here with his business, but he hasn't had the chance to go out and kind of network and meet people yet because he spends all of his time having to work in his business in the day. So we've got the beauty of like there's 3 of us. So if there's tasks to be done, one of us can do it and the other one can go out and go to events and meet people, etc.
Yeah, okay. That's really interesting.
Yeah, we let him go out and play while we do the work.
I pretend to work. They actually work.
We put out the fires that he starts.
Wicked, cool. Okay, that's really interesting. And then in terms of the success that you've seen out in Dubai, obviously I know you guys are still fairly new to the scene, but from moving to Dubai and then obviously comparing that to running the business in the UK, have you seen that you've grown more as a business whilst you've been out here, or is it still too early to say?
I think it's definitely accelerated a lot.
Yeah, there's elements of it that have. It's the biggest thing with Dubai we found is it's easy to feel like you're not moving fast enough because everyone's moving so quickly. But then if you take a second to step back and look at what you've done over the last, we've been there 2.5 months, it's like, oh, like actually we've done quite a lot of really cool stuff. We found podcasting here is probably a few years behind what it is in the UK in the sense of like brands are only just starting to dip their toe in the water. Creators are only just starting to get a really big reputation here. More and more people are starting to listen. So we've had meetings with all sorts of local brands here. It's like, we want to take this first step to get into podcasting, which is really cool. But there's not enough podcasts like this, which are Dubai-based entrepreneurship podcasts. So well, we got one now. After, yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of opportunity in the podcast space in this area, which is awesome. But for us, it's also great to be able to network with the larger kind of finance brands that are based out here as well. So there's definitely been that positive element of it for sure.
Yeah. And then in terms of, I'm assuming a lot of your day-to-day role is outreach. How does that look like for you?
Well...
Annoying people on LinkedIn, basically, sliding into their DMs.
So LinkedIn's the big one for you, yeah?
LinkedIn is the big one for us, yeah. I feel like with cold emailing, it's kind of had its day. I mean, there's still a purpose for it if you're sending out thousands, like automated ones. But because everyone's so aware of what a cold email is nowadays, and that, like, they all kind of just goes into spam, kind of things like that. It's like you kind of want to be a bit more personal on LinkedIn. Also, with LinkedIn, you've got a face, so like they can obviously see what you are, what you're doing. And they can kind of look into you before they actually decide to reply to you and go, right, okay, this guy's worth my time, this guy's not. But mainly, obviously, LinkedIn. Ash does a lot of events. To be fair, we all do quite a lot of events we'll go to. That's another thing about being in Dubai is there's so many expos going on. You can just go show face. If there's brands that you've been wanting to get in front of, we can just go show face. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're that guy who won't leave me alone on LinkedIn. Like, you can kind of be that annoying wasp. But I think, mainly LinkedIn. And after that, we'll move over to emails and stuff, obviously, when people want to take it through the business.
So you don't actually do any outreach on Instagram, TikTok?
TikTok we use as a platform, not necessarily for work and for business, but just to kind of grow personal branding and what we're doing in our journey.
Got it.
A lot of people, when we first said that we were moving to Dubai, said, like, you guys need to document this. There's not many people doing it.
Yeah.
There's people that have made money and then moved to Dubai and shown off the money they've made.
Yeah.
But there's no one really giving that reality of, like, how hard it is to just pick up all your stuff, bootstrap it, go to Dubai, and face the actual daily struggles. No one sees that. So that's what we kind of try to do with the TikTok content.
It's landed pretty well as well. Like, people have loved it. We were surprised. Like, we kind of not half-assed it, but we were like, we'll record a video and spend 10 minutes editing it and then post it. And then it's like, oh shit, I got 500,000 views.
Yeah. So interestingly, that's how I actually came across you guys.
Was it?
So you've been on my For You page a couple of times.
Nice.
And then I think it was last week, I saw a video from you guys and I thought, you know what, I have to get these guys on the pod. So
I love that.
Yeah, man, it's a testimony to what you're doing.
Yeah. We've met some really cool people through it. Like, one of the guys I referenced earlier, he came up, I had a meeting with the guy and he overheard me talking about something which is similar to what he does in business. So finished that meeting with the guy and then he came over and introduced himself. Within 5 minutes, we realized, like, he was like, I recognize you from somewhere. I was like, I figured, I was like, is it TikTok? He's like, yes. And then he'd actually commented and messaged us on TikTok as well, but happened to bump into him in real life. So we've had a few of those where people have like, did you post a video to TikTok? You're like, oh, this feels really weird.
They double take you. They look at you and they're like, and you're like, I don't know where you know me from, or you know where.
Honestly, that exact thing happened to me for the first time in Dubai last week.
Yeah.
I've been bumped into a few times in London, but for the first time in Dubai, someone came up to me. Initially, I thought they wanted a picture.
Oh yeah.
Like, do you create videos on TikTok? And I was like, yeah. And then it was just really awkward because in Dubai, like, that's the first time that's happened to me. So
it's a small place.
It's a small place.
And when you do content in this area, like if you get 500,000 views in the UK, it's like no one cares. You get 500,000 in Dubai. There's not that many people in Dubai.
3.5 million people here. So
exactly. So all of a sudden, it's like, oh, like about a quarter or one, a bit less, maybe 10%, whatever it is, of Dubai have seen my content. There's a good chance you bump into someone.
Seeing your beautiful face, mate.
Yeah, exactly. they give you a weird look, and you're like, oh, this feels strange.
Yeah, you almost feel like a celebrity, don't you?
Yeah, something like that. Good for the ego.
So yeah, I think that's a testimony to always just build in public, document in public.
Exactly.
And the amount of leads that you eventually, I mean, you guys are still fairly new to the content creation scene. Because I'm assuming you created your account when you initially moved over here, right?
Yeah, in terms of TikTok, we are. LinkedIn,
yeah.
been posting for a while. Anything I post to LinkedIn about moving to Dubai, Dubai has done incredibly well. When we moved out here, like a few weeks before, I'd done I moved my whole life to Dubai on LinkedIn. I must have booked about 20, 30 coffee meetings from that one post, like people reaching out. Some of them like CEOs of 6, 7 figure, 8, 9 figure companies.
Crazy,
and like just be like, hey, do you want to go for a coffee? I'm like, absolutely, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Tomorrow, right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've had clients from it. We've had potential clients from it. We've had like just unbelievable people we met from LinkedIn, and then TikTok the same. We just realized on every channel when you talk about like, because it's a little bit different to how most people do it. It's like moving to Dubai, but like for a new business, like we're trying to do it cheap. We've done a video, it's like how you can live in Dubai spending less than £2,000 or 10,000 dirhams a month. And it's like, everyone wants to know that. People don't want to know like how much your Lamborghini costs because there's enough videos saying that. But it's like, how do I live in Dubai without breaking the bank? And then all of a sudden, like, gets so much attention.
Yeah.
So
I think Dubai's the talk of the town right now.
Yeah.
So any content that you post around Dubai, it's always going to attract good numbers because everyone wants to move to Dubai. Everyone wants to see what day-to-day life is in Dubai. So yeah, it's really
100%.
Yeah, cool. So in terms of what you actually look for when reaching out to brands or podcasts, is there certain elements that you look for in a podcast? Or
Niche.
Yeah,
I think the way we've tried to differentiate ourselves as a business is very niche podcasts and brands that are actually going to convert with that audience. Mm-hmm. You know, there's things like Acast advertising or Spotify, like you may have looked into, like for this podcast. You know, you can sign up as a creator and you get paid like fuck all, like $10 CPN. We try and make sure the creator gets paid fairly because most are broke and they do it as a passion project. And also the brands don't make any money doing it that way. So if you've got a really specific show and then a brand that can sell to, you know, a massive percentage of that audience, everybody's going to win.
Yeah.
So there's like a few different factors we look for. Like first of all, does the brand have deep pockets? Is one thing. But it's more about the product. So is there a lot of repeat purchases? Is it a high ticket product? Do they find it expensive to acquire customers in other ways? And generally we try and focus on needs, not wants. Mm-hmm. So, you know, insurance is a great one for us. You know, people need insurance. It's a recurring product. There's huge profit margins in it because most people never claim. So that's perfect. If you can find, let's say this is a business show, let's find a insurance that does like small business insurance. Perfect. Yeah. Or I might look at like an accountant, for example, high ticket, recurring payments, but they can sell to a massive percentage of your audience. Mm-hmm. They're going to see a conversion. And if the brand is selling, like, that's crack. They're never going to turn that off. They're just going to keep paying you as a creator. Yeah. Whereas when you go down this route of, you know, for example, like who likes comedy? Like fucking everyone. Or entertainment. So it's like those really broad shows that don't have a really specific audience. Like, well, how do I convince an advertiser that they're going to sell loads of units of whatever it is to this really broad audience that's old, young, male, female, different genders, different races? Like, you can't. Yeah. Whereas it's like, oh yeah, pretty much 100% of this audience is 25 to 35 male entrepreneur based in Dubai. Yeah. So I can sell to that audience. You know, and the more specific, the better. It's the slower way of doing things. It's the more expensive way of doing things. But it's the one that actually makes everybody the most money. Yeah. Okay. And then in terms of getting so I think with the business that you guys run, there's two sides to it. So there's working with the creators and then there's working with the brands. Mm-hmm. We've spoke a bit about outreach for creators. What does the outreach for brands look like? To be honest, the outreach for creators is really easy. That I do through Instagram. I do through emails. Yeah. That's quite easy. Jordan does all the outreach to brands. That's what's done through LinkedIn. That's what's done through expos and events and things like this, or personal intros. And I'm assuming the cycle for that is probably quite longer than in terms of from first reaching out to closing the client. Oh yeah, it's a big thing that we've realised very quickly is getting through to the right person at the brand takes a lot longer than we originally thought.
which for us was a good thing because it means that obviously not many other people are going to be doing it this way. But you kind of get thrown around the office, this person deals with it, and then next thing you know, you get finally through to them, this person's now left the business. Great, start scratch one. So
all about finding that decision maker.
It is. And the decision makers are the ones who don't reply because they're too busy making decisions. So
they don't want to talk to you.
No, so that's where the in-person events are good because you can get face-to-face with someone.
Yeah.
But normally working up the food chain throughout the office, there are some people who you can kind of get interest from really quickly because it's a brand new thing, podcast advertising. Well, not a brand new thing, but it's
to a lot of brands.
They
haven't tried it yet, but it's like we often get I've been thinking about it, but don't know where to start, which is like gold dust.
Yeah, it's perfect for us because we can kind of walk them through like things that have gone well before, things that haven't gone well before, and basically show them what they're missing out on.
Okay, sounds really interesting. And in terms of signing your first client, obviously I'm assuming that was a huge win.
That's kind of where the business started.
So it was a bit of a different one, if you like, because I originally was just doing it as like a little bit of a side project, hustle on my previous job.
That's and there usually starts.
And there was a guy who listened to our podcast, and I knew he did, and he had a very popular motorhome podcast. So I was like, I want to do some of this sponsorship stuff. So I reached out to him. I was like, hey, like, can I try and find you some sponsors and take a cut? And he was like, yes. So
free money. Fuck off.
So I then spoke to a few brands and managed to negotiate and close a deal with a motorhome insurance brand, which was really well suited.
Nice.
Paid him incredibly well, and therefore me quite handsomely for just something I was doing a bit on the side.
Yeah.
And then that was when I went, oh shit, like there's a whole business here. Because I made a good chunk of money. And then that brand now works with him every single year on an annual basis, like by far his biggest commercial partnership. And they get an unbelievable return because of how well suited it is. So that the first deal we ever done was almost like the start of the business.
That was a success story,
that was also the epitome of what we're trying to do, which is like a brand and creator that are perfectly matched. The creator gets paid really well. The brand makes loads of money. And then it's just going to be every single year. Hopefully they're just going to keep working together and doing more and more every year. And then obviously that adds up in terms of how much the creator makes, how much we make. And for them, it's a great marketing channel. So
a match made in heaven. Yeah.
Exactly. There we go.
Perfect case study. It
is a perfect case study. And that's the first one. Now we've had our first one. We've had a couple since being out here. We've had a couple of really big ones which are like on the edge or fallen through, which kind of you get the opposite feeling. But that's business at the end of the day.
Is there much competition for what you guys do? Have you come across
basically none?
No.
When I first reached out to you guys, I was thinking this is a very, very niche area. Focusing specifically on podcasts.
Yeah, there's some people who do similar stuff, but generally it's like you give us X amount of money and we'll spread it across a load of shows.
Yeah.
There's few people who will work with the bigger independent creators because that's the main side of it. Is like we're not working with we work with a lot of big creators, but mostly they're all independent ones. They're not owned by agencies or anything. And you say to them is like, look, a lot of them don't want to do the commercials. They're creatives. They don't want to deal with it. And you say, look, we'll take a cut and we'll manage it all for you. And they go, yeah, sounds great. So then we're working with these shows that are massive, have a lot of interest. You speak to the right brand. They want to work with them. And you just say to them, like, hey, I've got this campaign for you. And they're like, yeah, sounds good. And it's all one-to-one. Instead of it being brand gives us £100,000, we split that across 50 creators. It's brand gives we like do one campaign with one brand and one creator. That goes well. All of a sudden the brand goes, cool. How about this creator, this creator, this creator, and gives you loads more they want to work with. So it's almost like everything is one-to-one, which is the long and slow way, like Kane said, but it's the effective way. So we're doing it the hard way because the hard way makes more money.
Yeah.
The other thing to note as well is we don't really have any competition. We were really lucky that we've been in the industry for 5 years. We've seen what's happening. Yeah. So 3 years in a row, the amount of money advertisers were investing on podcasts doubled every single year. 1 billion, 2 billion, 4 billion. Oof. And then the amount of podcasters that were creating was decreasing since lockdown. Yeah. So there's less competition. And then at the exact same time, there was some research come out, I think, end of last year or summer last year. There was podcasting was the number one converting form of advertising. Compared it to radio, print, social media, TV, the lot. Yeah. It converted better than any. So when you look at all of those, it's like, this is a no-brainer. Mm-hmm. And we're kind of fortunate that we're early, and I think we are early. The downside is we're the ones doing all the convincing.
Yeah.
Because Jordan's got to find the brand, convince them that they should do podcast advertising, convince them that they should then do it with us.
Yeah, you're almost setting the scene for the industry in itself.
So then it's like you get the advantage of being the early adopter, but the downside of spending a stupid amount of hours and money making that an industry, and then probably, in 2 or 3 years, there'll be loads of people doing it. Mm-hmm. So we're just trying to build as strong of a moat around that business as possible. And now that's just relationships.
Yeah.
And every time it's like, fuck, this is taking so long, or this has fell through, or this is really hard. It's like, that's kind of a good thing. Mm-hmm. Because like, as long as we've got enough money to weather this storm and push through it, it's like, once those relationships are built, especially in the Middle East, like, it's a people business.
Yeah, so it'll typically be a recurring...
100%.
You keep them happy, they're with you for a very, very long time.
So it's just, firefighting, making sure we can eat, push through, pay rent, and then as soon as...
You might have to end up moving to JVC.
Yeah. Or we split in a studio, like Top and Taylor.
Who gets the bed tonight, basically.
Shotgun the bath.
Yeah. But to touch on what you're saying, there's no rule book to how to do it.
Yeah.
And we're finding that we're having to try ways and go, right, that was a complete waste of time, effort, and money. So let's not go down that again. Yeah. And then there's kind of like, there's no shortcuts around it either. Like, it is, the more people you speak to, the more better conversations you have, the kind of more deals we're seeming to be closing. So
yeah. And do you guys look for a specific kind of creator in terms of the amount of numbers they're doing? Do you work with small creators, medium, large?
Who, not how many?
Who, not how many? Okay.
Yeah. So, for example, there's a comedy show with 100,000 downloads per month. They might get paid like low single-digit thousands of pounds per month. Like, they might not get much. But for example, there's 3,000 billionaires on the planet. Mm-hmm. And should your small niche podcast with just 3,000 listeners just so happen to be all 3,000 billionaires, like that podcast is going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So we don't really judge on that. It's like I said, it's we're selecting the audience. So who is that audience? And actually, smaller creators can sometimes be good for us to get a foot in the door. So there's sort of two approaches, which is one, who's our poster boy, who's got huge numbers, is the biggest one in the thing. That works great for getting a response. But also, most brands who have never done podcast advertising aren't going to spend the sort of money to get on that show. Mm-hmm. Whereas if we've got a really niche, small audience that's fairly affordable for a brand, but we know will convert, that's a really good one to... Yeah. It's like a first deal.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, interesting stuff.
The smaller creators seem to have a lot more freedom of what they can say as well.
Yeah.
Whereas as soon as you start getting bigger creators, they've already got existing brand deals in place, and there's a lot of red tape about what they can do, what they can't do, who they can partner with.
Exclusivity and...
Exactly. Like so it's having the good hybrid between the small creators who you can have a lot of freedom with, and we find with the ad reads that we do, the more freedom, the better. So they can deliver the message to their audience exactly how they built that audience. Whereas the big ones are kind of harder to get a good creative around.
I think as well that the big creators, a lot of them have been living off like the, say, Acast or Spotify ads, where it's like you get given a script, like read this for an episode and they get paid so much. It's all just very transactional.
Yeah.
But multiple creators recently who are like huge, well-known creators have come to us and been like, help us find some like actual brand deals where it's like a Huel and Stephen Bartlett, not a random host read ad that you've been sent before. You've just got to read the scripts. Like, help us find actual partnerships. Yeah. Like, and a lot of them, this has happened a few times, that they've had to say is like, by the way, you can't say you're working with us because we're under contract with X and we're not allowed to actually do this. Okay. So it's like, if we do any deals, like it's got you're not involved. It's like, no problem. Yeah. As long as we get our check, we don't want the credit. But it's quite eye-opening to see that some of the biggest creators, like famous hosts, are in that position where they're going, like, we want to find more direct partnerships where it's like with the brand, not just the ads we're getting fed and getting paid absolutely jack shit for. Yeah. So it's an interesting thing for us to notice without really pushing ourselves to creators a lot, getting inbound from top creators. It's interesting.
What would you say that percentage split is, inbound versus outbound?
It's a weird one.
For creators or brands?
For both.
So he does a
0%
lot of
for brands.
yeah, he does a lot of outbound. I've through LinkedIn had quite a bit of inbound, which has been cool.
Okay.
So yeah, he focuses on the outbound as his full-time job essentially, and then I get the occasional inbound one from LinkedIn, from TikTok. We have had inbound creators, we've had more inbound creators, but also inbound brands as well. In Dubai, we've had a fair few inbound brands. People go to our website, people reach out to us, and just be like, "Oh, I've noticed you've moved here. Like, we're looking to do this thing. It looks like you guys can help." So yeah, we've been getting more and more inbound. In fact, some of the biggest creators we work with are inbound ones that you would normally struggle to work with, where they've just seen what we do and gone, hey, like, can you help us? So yeah,
so
we
50-50 for creators.
Probably,
I'd say
yeah.
about that. Brands probably sub 5% inbound.
yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, look through LinkedIn and then.
So just on that, with LinkedIn, in terms of the content you're actually putting out there to get those inbounds, what does that look like? Are they case studies?
I'll be honest.
Success stories?
Most of what I post is more personal stuff. So it just lands on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So it's more like what we find in life like here in Dubai, but there'll be the occasional one where it touches on advertising or touches on podcasting.
Right.
So if you follow me, you see that content. But at the end of the day, if you see my post about living in Dubai and it's gone viral and you've seen, oh, Daniel Priestley's commented on that, or the CEO of this company's commented on it, you check out my profile and then all of a sudden my profile is my landing page and you go, oh, actually, as it happens, I need that. Yeah. So the posts aren't always podcast related. They're not always advertising related. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. Probably should post more case studies. But it's just the stuff that lands, which is anything personal partnered with just like a random picture of me stood by the Marina or something like that.
I think people appreciate the authenticity sometimes.
It's authenticity beats authority all day long.
Yeah.
Like people really love the authentic feel of whatever it is, TikTok, LinkedIn. And when we done a podcast, it was all about podcasting, and we kind of made a shift from going very like button up to like, let's just talk as if there's no mics.
Be free and
so unserious.
Honestly,
on every channel.
Some of the jokes that were made on that, considering it was like owned by the agency we're part of back home, and it should have been like, to look at it, you'd be like, oh, this is like a corporate looking thing. You start playing an episode, and the jokes this guy's dropping is like, we're gonna get cancelled, mate. And this is a podcast about podcasting. How have we done this?
You're supposed to be getting brands signing up to
you. Do you know what we run events? So from this podcast about podcasting, we'd fill events teaching people how to run their own podcast. Okay. When no joke, I'd get people come up to me at the events and start making jokes. Like he'd always joke that he's taller than me, and
joke.
Fair. Honestly, people come up to me at these events I've never met in my life and just start giving me slander for being short, and I'm like, are you taking the piss? I don't know who you are. But yeah, it was funny.
So those events, were they back in the UK?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you going to do those events here in Dubai as well? Or?
Probably not. We're going back in July to do another one. Mm-hmm. They're good fun, but it's, they're intense. It's 3 days, they're like 12, 14-hour days, and it is hard when you're then trying to do this business as well. It was a good income stream for that business, but then this is like completely separate.
Might do some different kind of online events here, like LinkedIn Live stuff. Maybe some stuff like that, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, those events teach people how to grow and start their own podcast. I mean, it's a different business, really.
It's like it's
just a step-by-step blueprint.
Yeah. It's like you invest, you come to this 3-day workshop, we give you everything, like all the training manuals, like here's how you edit, here's how you go find sponsors, here's how you get guests, here's how you interview better, Whereas I think if we was to do events here, it would probably be, although B2B, like more social, and it would just be about networking with the right people and getting people in, I think would work a lot better than, teaching.
Yeah.
Because it's a big shift. We were previously kind of B2C. So our podcast agency was mostly helping entrepreneurs who want to build their personal brand and it's good for business. But we are selling to the individual, that founder. So it was very much B2C, whereas what we're doing now is completely the opposite. This is our first B2B business, and it's, trying to navigate that. So how we approach finding those people and dealing with them is completely different.
Yeah. Okay, nice. So I have to ask, guys, obviously everyone's trying to move over to Dubai. What advice would you have to anyone who's looking to start a business and move over to Dubai? Or in fact, let me rephrase the question. What did that process look like for you guys?
Well, he dealt with all of it because he's the adult.
CFO over here.
Yeah.
You're the authority.
Go on, yeah.
Wow. Right. So first of all, the reason we moved was we were told to.
By
Daniel Priestley.
okay.
So he's an entrepreneur, Australian guy, lives in London. He's been on Stephen Bartlett's podcast a few times. So we interviewed him, and we'd already floated the idea of Dubai anyway. And I think that might have come from a little bit more of like a lifestyle-y thing we wanted to move. Obviously, we'd watch from, thousands of miles away, Jordan traveling the world. Like, that looks all right. And we wanted a bit of a shake-up. And when we interviewed Daniel, I asked the questions like, if you were 25 and starting this business, like, what would you do? It's like, move to Dubai.
Yeah.
It was like, basically, you just get absolutely...
Not even just move out of your hometown, move to Dubai.
Specifically to Dubai.
Right. Yeah.
Exact words.
And it was actually a clip of ours that went viral, which was, good for our relationship with him. It's like, you just get rinsed on tax.
Yeah.
And, we're 50-50 partners in this business. We're already splitting at 50%, but HMRC got the first 50%.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's not a lot left to reinvest. And, everybody in the UK is like gatekeepers. They don't want to help.
Yeah.
And sort of that's what Ash touched on when we started is you talk to anyone, and because they were in our position at one point, they're like, oh, you need to go to speak to this person, this person, this person. And they just put you through. And businesses felt easier out here.
100%.
So that was like a huge piece of advice that we actioned right away. I think that was in November last year. So we're like, okay, cool. We came out for work in January. I'd already been, these two hadn't. They're like it, happy. So like 1st of April, just as like the new financial year starts, we'll essentially finish our books on that business, start this one, and we'll open here. Yeah. Now, we used a moving company, and I knew somebody had already set up a business out here.
Okay. So
100%. Do not do it yourself.
Yeah.
Do not do it yourself. Find a company that is like reputable, that you trust, that's been doing it, that will just set up everything. So ours was probably a little bit more expensive because we're offices. So we've got an office in DIFC. We're in one of the more expensive free zones, like by the World Trade Center. So, I mean, look into this because I'm not an expert by any means. So obviously you've got your mainland business, you've got free zones, you've got different free zones, and what you're allowed to do will vary depending on that. So if you can give your moving company like a pretty good explanation of like what your business does and go like, what's the cheapest one? Absolutely would. If you don't need an office, try to avoid one, although some of the free zones, you have to have one. We had all of our visas paid for, relocated everything. I mean, we must have spent, for the three of us, business setup, a year of accounting, visas, like literally everything, probably 20 grand?
Pounds. So you're about 100,000 dirham.
Yeah.
Across the three of you,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that don't get me wrong, that's like first year of accounts done as well, and we've got a pretty good accountant. So there's a lot that goes in there, and I'm doing it for somebody else or helping somebody else with it at the moment, and it's like 7,000 dirham.
Yeah.
So like for a company setup. So like it really does depend what you need and what your company needs.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, it was a bit of a ball ache. I'm glad I got somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
Pay somebody else to do it.
You'd say it's well worth the investment.
100%.
Yeah.
One thing I would say is like, are you moving to Dubai for business or because you want to? Do you know what I mean? Be honest about that. Because there's some businesses that like don't necessarily need to be here. I would recommend most people move. I think this place is great.
Yeah.
But I think like if you're starting a brand new business and you've not proved the concept, it can be quite an expensive investment to do it. Like if you're currently at home and you've got really cheap rent, or you're living at home in the UK and you're like, move to Dubai, and you're, I don't know, like a video editor or something that is pretty online, and you don't necessarily need to go meet people and network. So I get the tax purposes, but also if you're starting out, like tax is not your issue.
Yeah.
Like poor people love to talk about tax. It's true. It's not any, like
it's
not an issue. So do you need to? Because it is one, like a personal jump, but a huge financial jump.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, we were in the position that it made sense, and we were in the people business. We needed to meet people. Expos are great for us, and we were flying. Like in January, we flew here for like a 1-day expo just to fly back again.
Crazy.
And then like the calendar is full throughout the year because Dubai is like the new central hub of the world, right? So all of the huge expos are here. So it's like, well, do we want to fly back and forth all the time? Not really. No. Do we want to live there? Yes. Yeah. So it made sense for us, and like financially it's paid off, but I don't think everybody has to.
Yeah.
I think it depends where you live, mind. Because if you live in London and you're not living with parents, it probably is cheaper to live in Dubai.
Yeah, true.
I'd encourage more people to do what we've done. Obviously, it's very dependent on your business. Like,
Absolutely.
if there's no logical sense behind it and it's just because you want to be in the sun, like, go to Spain. But it is one of those. Everyone seems to see Dubai as like, oh, you make your money, you move to Dubai, or you come here to do real estate, or be a teacher, or fly with Emirates. Like, if more people actually worked it out, we can live for 12,000 dirhams a month here per person, which is what, £2,500 a month. In the UK, in London, you're paying more than that. Where I lived, I was paying maybe 2,000. My expenses here are probably 20% more than where I was in the UK. Now, look, I've gone from a 3-bed house to a room in a 3-bed apartment, but it depends on what you value. Because to me, space is great, but like, I would much rather have split an apartment with 3 mates in Dubai than have a 3-bed house in the random new build estate in Peterborough. So if you're someone who really needs your own space and like loves having a really nice house, like, Dubai's not for you. If you don't really give a shit about that, then there's actually no reason you wouldn't come here to give it a go. If you've got a bit of money for the business setup, because you can live here for the similar cost that you can live in the UK if you're sensible about it. And it's easy to get caught up with Feb 30 and all the nightclubs and everything, right? And if you can avoid that and you're sensible in your fun, we figured out a lot of cheap ways to have fun, if you like.
Dubai doesn't really need to be
it doesn't need to be
as people
expensive.
make it out to be.
It doesn't need to be expensive at all. I think you worked out like you tried to see how kind of like frugal you could be for a month.
How strict we can
and he managed to spend less than £2,000 a month. And it's like, he's living in...
Was that including rent?
Including
everything.
rent.
Everything for less than £2,000 a month. And bear in mind, he's living...
Of May, I just said to myself, like, right.
Were you just drinking water and eating bread?
That's how it felt, I tell you.
Egg on toast.
You have
sleep for
salmon and
dinner.
eggs every day.
Yeah. This guy's eating salmon and avocado and everything. I don't know how I reckon he was started robbing food for the shop. But it's mad because he also lives in the Marina with like a view over the park in a 3-bed apartment.
You're not getting
and it's like, and we exactly
not getting out of Peterborough at all.
No, and we play paddle a few times a month. We go to beach clubs every weekend. Like, we do all of this, and it's
quality of life is just
it's
way
unbelievable.
better.
Like, if you're happy to accept not having a whole house and having an apartment or a studio or splitting with someone, then why on earth would you not try and grow a business out here instead of at home in the UK? There's not really any benefit to doing it there.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
Agree, man. Yeah. So do you guys see yourself out here long term?
100%.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, let me say short to mid term then. So 2 to 3 years, do you think you'll still be in Dubai?
Yes, I do. I'm very much, every time I look back like a year ago in my life, I'm like, I would never have predicted I'd be where I am now in a year's time. So I've seen it as like, I could be back home in 8 months' time, or I could be still here in 8 years' time. And I'm very open to whatever happens. That's kind of my way of looking at it. But so far, life out here seems great. I'm really excited for my family and my friends to come out. One of our closest friends came out to visit us on a week holiday, and in that week holiday, didn't get his flight home. So now he lives here and has a job. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, cool. What are some unexpected lessons that you guys have? Just going back to your podcast of running your business, what are some unexpected lessons that you've faced?
Business-wise or Dubai?
Business-wise.
Don't try to predict it.
Yeah.
That's definitely one. Don't try to predict what you think the business is going to look like, because we thought it was going to look one way, and it turned out to be a very people business very quickly. When we thought it was all going to be outreach online. That's what probably I'd say.
Yeah, okay. Nice.
Everything that can go wrong will.
Yeah. Prepare for the worst.
Yeah, but that's okay, you know.
Yeah.
I think we've had loads of shit go wrong, and I think that's okay. Like, because if you went into it knowing everything's going to go wrong, you would have never done it.
Yeah.
Like, ignorance is kind of bliss. And I think it's quite nice that there's 3 of us. It must be hard to be a solo founder, because when shit goes wrong and you just sat in your room like, I hate my life. Yeah. Whereas, you know, if one of us is struggling, the others can pick them up a little bit and be like it's okay. Yeah. Let's look at what we've achieved so far. Let's look what's on the horizon. Like, things will go well. Like, I'm not gonna lie, we lost a fucking huge deal this week. That sucked.
We all took it differently as well.
Yeah.
But, emotional roller coaster of a week.
Yeah, but you know, it always seems to pan out. It always seems to pan out.
And that goes back to that moat, right? The harder it is for someone else to do the same thing.
Yeah.
You figure it out, like, great, you're 100 steps ahead of the next person who's trying to do it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then what would you say is next for the brand for you guys? just continue to grow, scale?
Yeah, I think because it's
Get more
early
clients.
days, the biggest thing for us is just building relationships with as many brands and as many creators as possible. Like, we're already working with some awesome creators. Most of them, like, not publicly, but we can share. Some of them is like on the down low, but we're working with some awesome creators. And then brands wise, we're starting to really build that reputation with brands where we're running campaigns that are going well. We're doing more campaigns and starting to get great partnerships with brands. We've got a handful that we've run loads of campaigns on different shows. And when we look at it, it's like if we have 10 brands who trust us with their podcast advertising and we just start working with more and more creators, all of a sudden it's going to just start stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking. So for us, it's just building more relationships with more brands and more creators is probably the short-term goal. Is like just as much of that as possible.
Business-wise, would you say your priority is quantity over quality or quality over quantity in terms of the brands and creators that you're working with?
I think quantity is actually more important
right now.
100%. I think like the nice answer for a clip is the opposite, but it's bollocks. It's literally it's like how much can we shove in the top of that funnel as possible, because eventually gold will come out. And I think that is the key. And like there's a really good Hormozy quote, which is quantity negates luck, which is true. It's like you can just outwork. Because don't get me wrong, like we've had some lucky breaks as well. Like we've had some things go wrong. But if we just keep outreaching to literally every company. Now don't get me wrong.
Something will pull through. Life is a numbers game.
It's not spray and pray. Like there's basically an infinite amount of companies, an infinite amount of creators, and there's always new ones, near enough. And it's not that we're just targeting absolutely anybody and we're not putting any energy or love into those like outreach messages, but it's like what's our 80-20? How can we make it personalized? How can we put some like attention into who we're targeting so it's not a complete waste of time? Going back to what I said earlier about, do they have a high ticket product? Do they have recurring payments? Like, we have filters, but it's like within those filters, like, how do we just keep filling it? And I think as we grow, like the best way for us to grow is if we could just copy Jordan and have like 10 of him. Like for each individual niche that we might want to work in. So it's like, cool, we've got a finance one, a sports one, like a biohacking health one. It's like, if we can just dominate the outreach, then we'll win.
Do you have a time scale as to when you'd like to get another Jordan?
No, like yesterday.
You can't find another. You can't find another. Jordan.
Irreplaceable. He's employee of the month every single month. I'm doing well. Insane, bro. It's
got a great record.
Employee of the month when you're the only employee.
They try butting me up with it when it's a bad month. Like, don't forget, you're employee of the month this month. Like, thanks. One out of one again.
And then he wants to talk to HR. And his problem is we are HR.
HR's on the balcony having a beer. Go talk to him.
Jordan, look at the palm view.
You haven't paid me yet this month.
We'll pay you next month.
Talk to HR.
I think Ash and I are probably, well, not to speak for you, quite similar that neither of us are great at like really long-term goals. Something that I'm trying to get a little bit better at is being a bit more rigid with the business and like targets and things and like having something to work towards. But things change so quickly out here. And it could be that the business model changes slightly and we go, we actually don't need another Jordan. Like for example, Ash and I met somebody out here who's like a huge affiliate for gambling companies, does like paid ads and whatever, and basically completely changed his business on his head. So now he's only an affiliate for one brand. Just one of the betting companies. Like, I make more money doing it this way, and I can get rid of most of my staff, and I can have this really small operation that just prints cash. So that would probably suit us better, to be honest. Like if we could find a model that works that way,
or even one niche, just one niche maybe.
And if you can just dominate that and earn really, really well, then fantastic. I think long term it would be cool if we could use some of the money we make to buy the podcasts and like pay the host a salary, and then we can keep a bigger cut. So that's another way to
really
scale.
Interesting,
So like if we own IP, then great. And then if that goes up in value, you can always flip it. So there's so many different options, but at the moment it's like, let's just get our head down and like what we're doing, how do we do it better and quicker?
Just build as many relationships as possible, because the more brands that we work with, the more creators we work with, the more money we make. So short to medium term, it's just how many people can we build relationships with?
And you're in the right city for that. So
exactly.
Wicked. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure having you on the podcast.
Thank you very much for having us.
Where can everyone find you guys?
Oh, good question. If you search any of our names on LinkedIn, so you got Ashley Morris, Jordan Meads, Kane Barron. We run a TikTok account called DX Business_, which is where you found us from. And then the website is podpartnerships.com.
Yeah, don't expect anything serious in the TikTok though.
Yeah. Just chatting.
It's a bit of fun.
A lot of sarcastic replies to comments is what you can expect.
A lot of hate comments. We love it.
Oh yeah, I know all about that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, mate.